It's the mom life.
Hey guys, welcome to another Living in the Moment with B
and Steph. Hello, friend. I haven't seen you. We haven't talked, guys. We haven't talked. So this is like genuine interaction here.
Yeah, I am barely surviving. I just got in from traveling from Texas, my home state, the great state of Texas. But I am exhausted. They kept delaying my flights, and I've been gone for family graduation, and it was a wild trip. So yeah, I haven't talked to Steph at all. I haven't even been able to do anything. She's been holding us up, our podcast and our posts and everything for like 4 or 5 days. So
yeah, the posts have been slipping, as you have seen if you follow our pages. But how long have you gone? Like 4 nights?
Yes. So from Friday to Wednesday. That's 4
4 nights. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I got to see my family. I got to see I went to San Antonio, Texas. I got to see my family for graduation. We had 3 graduations. We had 2 graduating out of high school, and then we had a kindergarten going to first grade. Yeah, that was really cute. So 3 graduates. It was a lot of fun. It was freaking hot.
I'm sure.
I mean, like I was melting, like I'm like, this is why I was so skinny there.
Yeah.
You literally just, like, I was sweating every single second. It was horrible.
It's a sauna. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not used to that humidity anymore. Even though I was born and raised in Texas, I'm spoiled now. I live in the mountains. I have fresh air. I don't deal with that anymore. So yeah, sunblock was a thing, and I'm kind of like iffy on sunblock because of the chemicals. So all in all, it was good. I got to see a lot of friends too, a lot of my best friends that I grew up with. So that was really nice.
That you hadn't seen in a long time, right?
Right, yeah.
Like years and years.
Yeah, like middle school best friends, high school best friends that I met, while I was in college and I worked with. So yeah, overall, I would say 10 out of 10 trip.
Yay!
Heat. I don't know. The heat's horrible.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it is horrible. Like, you just step out and you regret it. Like,
yeah.
Or you get out of the shower and you're like, oh, you could feel it. But that's Texas, right? So just make sure you're always in water. Yeah.
How did JJ do with the heat?
Oh, he loved it. I think more so because he's not around a lot of babies here, and we had a lot of toddlers over there. So he was running rampant.
He had fun.
He had a blast, like, because we have boy and girl cousins over there, all toddlers. And so he was with his tribe going wild, screaming. Yeah, I'll have to share videos with you. He was in it. That boy, like,
you said the kids were running wild in the Airbnb. They were living it up on their vacation.
Yes, there I am. I'm like, let's get an Airbnb so we can all gather. No. When you have that many toddlers and children and family, no. I'm like replacing things. I'm messaging the lady. I'm like, oh my God, we accidentally broke this. And she's like, oh, you're so sweet. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we've ever broken anything in one. We get them pretty often. But like they're always very nice. Like the homeowners, did they ask you to replace stuff, or they were just kind of like,
I just felt guilty. Like,
yeah.
I'm like what was broken was like a picture frame came off the wall. I saw it was from Big Lots. So I ran to Big Lots and I grabbed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice of you.
Like couple little candles or whatever, like little succulents, like just little decor. JJ may have broken a couple of those, but Grandma was in charge. So I'm like, she's like, JJ broke them. I'm like, no, whoever was in charge broke them, because you should have been watching him. And actually my nephew, he's older, he's 8, and he was following my son, recording him break stuff. Granted, he's also a kid, and I'm like, well, where was Grandma?
Yeah.
No, she was in the kitchen making breakfast, and, yeah.
That's hilarious. The little 8-year-old just documenting.
Yeah, I mean, we have it all, and then we see JJ like poke a little outlet. I'm like, Mom!
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was that. I mean, he was fine. Everything was fine.
That's too cute. That's hilarious.
So that's what I mean. Like, Texas was amazing. It was good to see family. There was a little family drama. There was some broken Airbnb stuff that we got through, but
typical
overall,
vacation.
yeah,
typical family vacation.
Yeah, exactly. And I got to squeeze in friends, so that was great. That was worth it.
That's awesome.
But the airplane, and that's kind of what our topic is today.
That's what we're talking about today. Yeah, just traveling with babies, traveling with toddlers, and taking them on flights. And so, yeah, since we just did it, we're like, let's talk about it.
You can still see, I'm like, all my energy's still up. I flew alone with my 1.5-year-old. My husband wasn't able to come on this trip. We've traveled previously before when he was younger. I don't know if I told you, it was like 6, 7, 8 months.
That's when we flew with Maddie, 6 months. So not mobile, right? JJ wasn't mobile at the time. Yeah.
And for me, that was fairly easy because, and I know Maddie's different because she's not particularly on a schedule, but JJ was. And so for him, I knew like, he's going to sleep at this time. Like everything worked great. We had no delays in our flights. Like everything was smooth. He slept through the rides in my arm. He was little. It was fine. How was it for you with Maddie?
So yeah, we flew at 6 months too. And I had actually asked like some friends about this, like, because when they're under 2 with Southwest, they can fly for free as a lap baby. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, everyone kind of recommends the lap child thing. So that's what we did. But for one of our layovers, it was like an empty plane on the next flight. So we were able to take her car seat on and put her in her own seat. No, that was night and day. And I would 10 out of 10. I mean, and obviously it's going to depend on the kids. That's why everyone's answers like differ, right?
Very.
But like 10 out of 10 recommend if your baby is one that will sleep in the car seat. And like as soon as you get in the car, just falls asleep type of thing. The seat is 100% worth it. Like, because we got to experience both, right? We held her on one part and then she got her own seat on one part, and it was so much easier for her to have her own seat. She slept better. She was not fussy. So yeah, I mean, that's going to vary, but so now anytime we go again, I'm like, no, she's getting her own seat.
Oh, nice. And you would pay just a full price ticket for her own seat?
Yeah, that's what sucks. I mean, you do have to buy them their own ticket, but in that case, it was definitely worth it.
Yeah. And for JJ, that little, we did lap child. I did lap child again, but he's way bigger. Like JJ's a big baby. He is transitioning into 3T. And again, he's only 1.5. So yeah, whole different experience. And again, I was alone like that. And with a toddler, like who in their right mind does that? But yeah, me.
And if you have them as a lap child, then there's like 2 people next to you. It's like you have no room in there. I imagine, right? To like move him at all. That was probably a lot.
And that's what I mean. And because his size is big, I mean, I didn't think of that, but it plays a part in, the proportionate size of sitting and like him wanting to kick.
The seats are so tiny. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and then it was just delay after delay. So I had about a 2 to 3 hour delay the first.
Well, you guys left very late too, night one, right? So it was already late at night.
We left at 6 and we didn't arrive until 1.
With the delays.
With the delays, yeah. And so imagine delays like with a toddler. It was horrible. Like, because he can't sit still. You have to wear him out. Like he has all that energy. And so, yeah, it was a lot. I think because I went through the delays the first time, like I'm telling you, like, and then I had anxiety with a toddler because I know, like, my husband's like, the airport is, there's a lot of security. Don't be so anxious. But I'm like, no, there's so many people. Yeah. It just scares me. And so I'm like, okay, what do I do to prepare? And so I started ordering stuff like 3 days before my trip. I don't know why not before. Well, actually, because I'm in training with the new position, so my mind's kind of been
we got a new job.
Yeah, but my mind's kind of been distracted, and so I finally was like, "Oh my God, I need it's not going to be as easy. But what are you thinking? Like, you need to really start preparing." So I started doing some research, and I decided I'm going to get a stroller, and like one of those. I just went to Walmart because I have Walmart right around the corner, kind of where I live. But I got one of those strollers that were just $15, like the kind of simple, cheapo ones that you can pull. Because I'm like, if the airlines lose it, I don't care. You know,
Well, did you do how you just take them all the way to the gate and then they check it right there at the bottom? Maybe you didn't have to with that little cheapy thing, but.
No, yeah. Luckily, because he's so heavy, I had to like that.
Oh,
You actually told me that, so I'm like, what am I going to do with the stroller? No, so if you don't know, if you haven't traveled yet, you just take your stroller, you check it, they put your tag, your name, they put the transfer, and they'll take it to like the
But
city.
you don't have to check it at when you first get to the airport. You can take it with you past security all the way to your gate so that the baby or toddler, whatever, still has somewhere to sit. And then as soon as you're boarding the plane, you can check it right with the gate agent. And then they put it on the plane. And then as soon as you land where you're going, they'll just give it to you right there back at your gate as soon as you get off. So it's super easy. I mean, I don't know if they're all like that. I imagine they are, but this is both.
This is Southwest.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. This is Southwest. And so, yeah, there I was with my carry-on, my personal item, and the stroller. And you get your tags while you're waiting at the gate, but you take it all the way down to you're literally about to get on the plane, and that's where you leave it. Like I got my baby, put it there, and walked in, and
convenient.
It was so convenient because he is so heavy, and also I could stroll him and put him to sleep. Keep him busy and walk further than places.
Keep him contained, you're not going to run around all over. Yeah.
Right. And put his little seatbelt and, just hold on to him, because that was like my anxiety. I also got a backpack with a leash. I didn't end up using it because he's so little. He hated it. He didn't want it. He's not used to anything on him.
Yeah.
But I did get that. I never thought I would get one, but it's very it's a necessity when you're in
People
public.
People are judgy of those, but honestly, if you're in a packed place like an airport, no, you do what you have to do.
Well, and I feel like maybe in the past I've been judgy, to be fair, why would you, your baby's not a dog, but it's not even that. It's that literally it's just survival instincts. Like I can just pull you if you try to run from me, child.
They're so fast.
Or if someone runs and tries to snatches your baby, you think of everything as a mom, right? So you're like, no, you need something that you can just, if you let them, again, we didn't end up using it. And my tactic, essentially what I did is I would find an area, even if it wasn't by where I was, since we had delays. And I'm like, okay, we have another 2 hours. What do we do? But I would go to another side of the airport, wherever it was empty, and usually the international airplane section. And I would let him run. And there was nobody there. And I'm like, okay, you can run. And he would
burn off some energy.
Yeah, I let him run an hour. And so by the time we got on the plane, he was calm. This is the second time, not the first time. The first time was madness because I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't expecting delays. The second time, I'm like, all right, we're
already adapted.
Right.
Parents just adapt. Yeah. As soon as
survival mode. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so another thing I also bought for safety, besides the stroller, because again, that's containment, and the leash, or the backpack leash. I don't want to call it a leash. But also an Apple tag.
An AirTag.
Yeah, an Apple AirTag. And so that was another thing I didn't have because we don't leave the house often. But that's another big thing that we felt comfortable with doing.
Yeah.
Again, everything was pretty safe, but you just never know, because I will say, having a toddler, everyone around you turns to look at the baby, whether they're gawking, oh, or they're like, oh, there's going to be a baby on the plane. It doesn't matter.
It's going to be so loud, blah, blah, blah.
Right. It doesn't matter. They're going to look at you. You're going to, and so all eyes on any baby all the time.
Yeah.
So to me, safety was priority.
Yeah.
So
have you ever been on a flight with a super loud kid before? Like a crying kid or anything?
I have not. I have not experienced someone yelling at a kid like you see those viral YouTube.
Those are terrifying. Those videos of people just getting so upset and angry of babies and kids on planes. I will say, even before I had kids, I would never,
it's mean.
Whether
it's
we're
horrible.
in a restaurant, whether we're in an airplane, wherever you are,
but and what is the point?
Why are you going to get upset?
But you're also making the situation worse. You're scaring the child even more. It's just, it's pointless. You're just, irritating the situation even more, I think.
We were on the last time we flew, which was with Maddie. There was a little kid right in front of us, and not a baby. I don't know how old. Maybe, I don't know how to tell. Maybe like 3, 4. And that poor kid was yelling the first probably 20, 30 minutes of the flight, like mad, right? Upset. Wouldn't sit in his seat. Like the flight attendant had to go get him some snacks before we even took off.
Gosh.
Like, because he had to sit, right? We couldn't take off if he wasn't sitting. And so, we don't mind. But thankfully I was kind of like just looking around like, oh my gosh, is someone going to like get mad? No, everyone was super nice. So that's kind of, you just see in those videos, like the worst case scenario, and then it scares you. But overall, I think people are patient, and
they are. And I will say, and I know I'm jumping back and forth, but like the first flight, it was hard because we kept getting delays and I just had to follow my baby around. And at the first time I didn't think to find like a safe place. I just kept staying near my gate. So I let my baby run around there because they kept changing the time so many times. And I was scared to miss. It was already late in the day, or evening. I just chased him everywhere. By the time I'm like, okay, we're surviving, we're sweating, we have food. And finding milk. That was another thing. Real quick, I'm just going to jump in and say, if you need milk, I couldn't find home milk. I thought, I'm just going to run to one of those like little stores you see, the convenience stores in the airport. Nope, no milk. But Whataburger and Chick-fil-A have milk. And
so that's clever.
Those were my go-to. So I would go get a couple milks, fill up his little sippy cup, and then I'd have one holding, because he can down 2 of those quick. And so that was a quick side note. But anyways, we had made it through everything, finally landing in San Antonio the last 10 minutes. And I think because it was such a long, long day, I mean, we didn't get there till 1. My baby started spewing everywhere. Like he just started vomiting.
Oh, poor thing.
In the plane.
A little bit of motion sickness probably too.
Right. And luckily, a lot of people had switched their flights because there was so many delays.
Yeah.
That we got a row. We got our own row.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah.
Thank God. And so I put him in his own seat and right next to me. And then I put him to sleep. And the last 10 minutes, he just wakes up and starts, spewing everywhere. I mean, it's a mess. Did start crying. And up until then, everyone's like, oh, your baby, your baby, your baby. Because everyone had been following him, seeing him, screaming. He was one of the only toddlers on there.
Yeah.
But then we got the ugly faces because everyone was tired. It was 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And, we finally land. He's screaming for like 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe it's 5 and I'm thinking 10 because it feels, so intense. And you're like, calm down, baby. And also I'm like, hurry up. You like land this freaking plane, man. And so they finally let everyone in. I'm like, if I can just get off real quick, because I know he's annoying everyone. He's tired. I'm tired. Like if I can just, nope. Everyone gets up. Nope. Everyone's going to take their turn. You better wait, man, back in. And I was in the back. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well.
We've had a situation like that too before where a friend was trying to get off really quickly. I don't know, but she tried and people that's one instance where people were rude. They would not let her pass. Like she even asked, like, can I, squeeze by? Like, if we weren't even that far back. No, people literally said no. I was like, well, what?
I literally was like, I can get off real quick with the baby because they all people started turning and making faces. And so I'm like, I can get off real quick. And nope, everyone stood up like,
that's so rude.
No, me first. Yeah. I'm like, all right, then he's going to keep crying.
It's funny when everyone just stands up right away anyway, because it's a solid, at least couple minutes until they open the door and you can even start walking out. So you're just standing there, all ducked down under the air vent. Why?
Well, and then as I'm exiting, I'm one of the last, and you hear, another kid vomited.
From who? The flight, just a person?
Yeah, they were they were talking into I guess their intercom or to each other, their little walkie-talkies. I'm like, sorry.
Oh, the workers.
The workers.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just a rude person.
No. So I'm like, JJ made it all stinky for them, but I took his blanket, which is another thing I would say.
That's so
I'm like, well,
another kid vomited.
That's what I was. Aisle 10. Like,
so they're so used to it though. Like it's a thing, obviously.
Right. But because JJ started crying, then like other babies around him started crying. And so it's a domino effect, you know? It's like when dogs bark.
I've almost gotten sick on a plane before. Like sometimes they're so bumpy, you know, so I'm sure they're used to people, you know, it happens.
Right. I'm okay. I'm like, it's okay. That's the only ugly thing. On the way back, like I said, I actually let him run for an hour.
Yeah.
In a safe space. And so he didn't have that. And so maybe I think he also just got accustomed to flying. Like it was his first big flight. Like as a baby, did he really know? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But some items that I would say carry on because just to survive, again, you have to have entertainment. So on the plane, he really just had my phone. I should probably take his own little tablet or iPad. My husband is not big on letting him watch TV. Like I've told Steph many times.
Those are situations where you have to do what you have to do, I feel like.
And so like luckily I downloaded YouTube videos ahead of time, like some that he would like, because I'm like, what if the Wi-Fi gets messy? Like I can't risk this. Like, so I downloaded it. And sure enough, I bought him Toddler Headphones, which are the best because their volume is safe for them because I could barely hear. I try to hear it and I'm like, okay, that's safe for him. But yeah, that was amazing. So that really pulled us through. And then of course you have his snacks. But outside of the plane, like just waiting, I had a couple toys, a couple books. And yeah, that's it. I think the only other thing I would say in surviving the airport is the changers are so hard that you should probably take a pad or a changing pad or a blanket. Like JJ hates those changing because they're so hard and he just screams.
I hate them too.
Well, I mean, for their head, right? Yeah. And then they're also dirty or, you know, you just think, but yeah, we took a blanket and that little blanket he threw up on that first time. And then the second time we used it a lot. Like the second trip was just for changing because that boy's hot. So I'm like, I had to cover him. So yeah, I say take a little travel blanket. That's always good. That's how I wipe the seats.
Your own little changing pad. We did the same thing when we flew with Maddie. This is probably like varies from stroller to stroller, but hers like reclines into a bassinet type thing. So I was able to just change her in there.
Oh, nice.
In the airport. And that's so much like it just gives me more peace of mind than like trying to put her on that yucky changing table that who knows when it was last cleaned type of thing. And even if we don't have that available, like a blanket or just the changing pad that comes in her diaper bag, like in a little corner somewhere. And thankfully I was kind of like, I don't know if anyone's going to tell me anything, but she's so little, you know, that it was just quick and easy. And
JJ's so big, I can't do that. Like even because he eats so much food now, like, he has a little stank to him when he, you know, like, he has that big boy stank now when he goes restroom. True. And so I can't just like, people are like, oh, you dirty, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I was going to say? Oh, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, that's a complete change of topic.
Oh, me too. So you can go ahead.
Just going back to taking, you know, milk or needing milk for him in there. So when we flew with Maddie, I had looked up on the, you know, TSA website that if a baby needs formula or even food pouches or whatever they need, water more than 2 ounces, whatever it is, you can take it through TSA, right? So I'm like, cool. So we pack all of these little pre-made formulas, water with the powder to mix in, just everything to like be prepared, right? And so we get up to go through security and they were saying that they had to open every single bottle. And I was like, these are only good for 2 hours after you open them. Like, no, that's not happening. And so at the first, the reason I bring this up is because I think it varies from airport to airport, because at the first airport, they were like, okay, well, we need to test the outside and then we need to pat you down. Cool, fine. As long as we're not opening that formula, I don't care. Right. So they just did their little test strips around the edges and then we were able to take it through. But thank goodness that we got there early because I didn't know that it was going to be a huge ordeal. It probably added a solid 20, 25 minutes to security while we waited for all of this to be done. And then at one of the other airports coming back, same thing. So they went through, and that one, so the first one, they just tested 1 can, right? And they're like, okay, whatever. There was like 15 cans with us. On the way back, they tested every single one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it took a long time. So yeah, that's just a little snippet of info. Like, you can take that stuff through, but it's not a quick process. You still have to sit there and they still have to do whatever they're going to do. And again, that it seems like it varies airport to airport.
Right. And even like the milk, it's not whole milk. Like I had to buy, he's drinking whole milk now because that's what's recommended for him, but it was 2%. So if you are big and you want them to have whole milk, for me, it's like travel once in a while. I was okay with him having 2%. He was fine.
Yeah.
But if you are adamant that you want him or your baby to have that, anything you want to carry, anything like Steph said, then yeah, I think it's a process.
You can take coolers, you can take whatever you need to like get that stuff through. So yeah, if you need, in that case, like the whole milk and it's important, you can take it through, but it's going to add a lot of time to your check-in
Right,
process.
it's a process. And you're right, every airport is different because the first airport, you have to take out all electronics. The second one, I did all that and they're like, why'd you do that? You're just taking up more time. Yeah, they were so rude. I'm like,
sometimes they aren't very nice.
That was my hometown though, so I'm gonna whack you guys.
They're just there yelling at people, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, trying to take off your shoes."
Oh, I finally was like, "Hi!" Mama mode came on because they're like, "What call?" I'm like, "I'm right here." They're calling for the stroller. I was like, "Guys, I'm up to here with you." Yeah. Freaking Southwest. Yeah. I mean, Southwest is not the TSA, but still, that's who I'm blaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know when we don't really have another flying trip planned. So we'll see how that differs from the first one. Because again, who knows? Maybe we go again and Maddie wants to sit in a lap and doesn't want anything to do with her car seat. And we just spent $300 on this seat, who knows?
Well, and I will say now that he's older because of the space, I do think he needs to start getting his own seat. But as far as going to sleep, like he still needed to be on mom. He couldn't sleep on the seat.
Yeah.
So even if I would have bought an extra seat, which we got lucky like you did because our flight was so many people canceled and, so many open seats.
Yeah.
He still ended up in my arms. So, but yeah, I think an extra seat is nice. Even for your stuff, like just to put all their little stuff. And I also will say like the first round heading to Texas, I was very confident and I had, like I said, the stroller, I had my personal item, which is my purse. And then I had, not even my purse. It was like a bag with my purse and my laptop because I was working over there as well. So not full vacation. But I also had my carry-on. Heck no, I had bruises from my
trying to carry a lot of stuff.
And chasing him, like, I don't know what I was thinking. And so the second time around, all I had was a very light, like all I put was snacks, his headphones, like they're as light as I could, and just a stroller. Everything else, I checked it in.
Yeah.
So carry as least as possible if you're traveling alone because it like I woke up sore, my entire body. I'm still sore.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot of travel. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. Necessities only, including snacks.
Oh, yeah, for babies and mama.
No, for yourself too. Fun fact, you can take your own snacks through TSA. I know a lot of people seem to not know that, but I take full-on sandwiches,
do you?
Whatever. Yeah, you can take whatever food you want through there. It's the liquid that they're
I didn't
concerned
know that.
about. But yeah,
I just wait to buy everything in the airport.
No, yeah, you can take as much food as you want. And what I like doing too is taking an empty water bottle, like a, whatever.
Oh, yeah. And just
filling it up in there. Because like, yeah, $8 for a freaking bottle of water. Like that's crazy.
Well, and then
what else I do is I take a portable fan that's fully charged because when sometimes you go somewhere hot and like you get stuck on an airplane. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but they keep you stuck on the runway or whatever, and it's before they turn on the little vents. I guess you're not in the runway, you're like in the gate, but you're in the plane before you start moving, but it's before they turn on the air. It can get like super hot and uncomfortable in there. So I also take a portable fan.
That's a good one because it was hot. I mean, I was sweating. I mean, guys, I cannot even tell you, but I got a lot of, and you know what? I will say, there's a lot of mamas looking out for you because
That's
anywhere
nice.
anywhere I would go, a mom would like keep an eye or smell, and they kept their kids close. And like, there was one time where I did find a little corner, and it was just the moms and the babies. And, and some of their babies were younger, but you could see like everyone's like, it's just a mom code. Like you're looking out for each other. And even one guy, it was one dad traveling with his baby, identical. They look identical. Like he was a redhead dad and a little redhead boy, the cutest. But I see him pass by me, right? Just run. And I'm like, and the dad, hey, he starts calling his name. I don't remember. And I'm like, your baby's that way. I'm like, you should have got that monkey leash, a little backpack leash, sir.
A little backpack.
That baby was older, like 3 or 4, but I still say baby because it just took off. But
I see nothing wrong with those, especially like theme park type stuff. Like I see
that's what I mean.
Use it a lot in those cases. And I'm like, I would definitely, these kids, they can take off so fast, and there's so many people there. It just takes a second. It's
right. And they don't even know sometimes they're so used to holding mom or dad's hand, they can grab the strangers and not even be paying attention because the world's so new to them, and they're just like, distracted.
I have a vivid memory of being a kid. I don't remember how old I was, but I know I was pretty young. My dad was playing in the city basketball league at the time. And so all these guys, right, are just wearing the same uniform. Yeah. I literally went up behind some random person and like hugged his leg and looked up, and he looks down and he's like, I'm not your dad, kid. Oh my gosh.
Oh my, how old were you?
I was little. I'll have to ask my dad how old I was when he played in those leagues.
Did you scream?
I know I was little because I was like leg level. So I remember like seeing his leg, and then I just look up and he looks down. He's like, I'm not, he even said kid. He's like, I'm not your dad, kid. Like it was like a movie. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God. Yeah, and then touching another another man's hairy leg.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, so it's so easy for kids to just not know who the heck they're holding on to.
I'm like, JJ, he's just taking off. I'm like, hey. Yeah. I did everything.
It's crazy.
I'm like, AirTag, everything.
That's good. Yeah, whatever gives you peace of mind.
And sometimes he would run, and I would like grab him from the back of his little shirt and just follow him. He like, come here. Yeah.
When we flew with Maddie a couple months ago, she was 6 months at the time, right? So there's stuff that we use every single day. And so to wake up, our flight was at 6 a.m. To wake up at 4 a.m., I was like, it's going to be so difficult for me to be thinking to put this stuff that we use every single day that I can't pack the night before in her bag, early tomorrow morning. So I literally bought duplicates of multiple things so that we could be packed the night before. And that was so convenient for me. And it gave me so much peace of mind. So whatever you have to do for some peace of mind.
But prepping is necessary, people. Mm-hmm. You cannot just go on a whim anymore. Like, prepping just even for the safety of your child, for just being comfortable for everyone around you. Like it's you can't just go on a whim. Like you gotta plan it out and prep for it. And entertainment, like that's a big thing. And feeding them, keep them happy, full, and entertained, and you'll get through it.
That's a big thing for sure in the airport, but something that I have to tell myself that I kind of learned in doing like postpartum therapy is you're not going to some wasteland. Like you're not going, there's Targets, there's Walmarts, there's places that you can go and you can still get the things you need. And so that's super helpful for me. We're going on a little road trip tomorrow. It's just 4 hours, but I keep telling myself that, right? Because I'm kind of stressed about everything that I have to pack. And it can be a lot because now you're not just worrying about your own stuff. You're worrying about this baby stuff that like needs these things. And so that's helpful though. You can just go to the store, get what you need. It's not the end of the world if you forget something.
Right. So. And even in the airport, even though everything cost an arm and a leg, we bought JJ. I bought JJ because he was running around. He saw a duck. He's obsessed with farm animals. Mm-hmm. And so he wanted a little duck. $16. I actually didn't think that was too bad given water's like $6-8.
That's not bad.
Yeah, $16 for a little duck. It was cute too. But I don't know where I was going with this. I was talking about the duck.
Just buying things that you need. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I cut you off a long time ago.
Oh.
With that little, wait, did you say you said just talking about the duck. I thought you said just talking about the dad, and then I thought you were bringing up my random story.
Guys, I'm still half asleep. Like, I am still recovering from this travel. It was so much. And so moving forward, I hope to not travel again alone with a toddler is what I'm going to say is my big takeaway. But you will survive. I also don't want to say that it was like the second time. I already knew we got in a certain time. We went right away. I fed him. I got his milk prep. We went to go find our safe place for him to run and play. And then we made it back with 30 minutes left before we started boarding. And I changed him, went restroom, got him his milk so that it's nice and cold, got him prepped, and we rode the plane. Like, it was actually
super
easy
doable
once you do it.
Yeah.
Right. But it is also a lot of work, like chasing a kid. And so wear comfortable shoes. If you're traveling with a toddler, wear comfortable clothes. I took pants, but I was sweating. So now next time I hope to take itty bitty shorts or, like a tank top, like something. It was so hot. I was fully, I was acting like it was winter.
What was the temperature over there?
Horrible.
Like hundreds?
Yeah, it's horrible. And then the humidity, I will say though, because where I live now, I don't experience a lot of rain, and I do miss like the Texas thunderstorms. And so we did get that one day, and that was,
oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah. I was like, oh, this is heaven. That's the thing I live for. Like, I just love the smell of rain, and I don't get it a lot. I get a lot of snow where I live, but
a lot of snow.
Rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. That's what we get. Our little rain freezes. But yeah, guys, I think it was a good trip. Tiring. I'm still feeling it now, but it was worth it. It was a lot of fun.
I think just preparation, right? Like, everything just comes down to trying to be as prepared as possible. And one good thing you said I liked was downloading something for them to watch, because even us, like, I downloaded some Miss Rachel. We're a Miss Rachel household. And where, like you said, the Wi-Fi doesn't work. You can't connect. I think on that flight, it actually didn't work. And even if it does work and you can't connect, or you don't want to pay $8 or whatever it is, like, having something downloaded is super helpful.
And it sucks to think like of the comfort of others as a priority, but it does matter because, and not to an extent, right? Your priority is your child, but you also don't want, like, you see those videos, people snapping on your baby. And then, because I always think, like, what would I do in that instance? And, every part of me wants to attack, like fight or flight. And I am a fight. Always. I am always a fight. That's my instinct. But it's not about me anymore, right? So if I react, what happens to my baby? If someone swings at me, is my baby now also in the brawl? Like, it's just, you think differently. So I'm just like, if I can keep my baby nice and calm, keep the environment nice and calm, we're going to all survive together.
Keep yourself nice and calm. It's all a nice little chain reaction.
Right. It'll be lovely. Yeah. So downloading is big, because I didn't have Wi-Fi in one of them, and it was nice. I had 18 little videos queued up for him.
Perfect.
Like those tiny learning little videos. And he fell asleep watching them. So that's a big one.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad it went so well for you guys overall. Yeah. And it was a fun vacay.
It was great. I'm really excited. Yeah. And I'm very excited to see your take on traveling with a toddler, because Maddie will be a toddler soon enough.
Yeah. And we go a lot of places. So
you travel. Yeah, you travel a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
We'll see how it goes. Should we get into our listener question?
Oh my God, we got one.
Yeah, guys, we got a listener question, which is so exciting, because that's exactly what this is for, right? To bounce ideas off of each other and get input from other moms. So
help each other. Yes.
Yeah. Let me pull it up. I kind of summarized it a little bit. But this friend has a daughter who's just starting to walk. And she wants to know if anyone has any recommendations for shoes, because the baby really doesn't like wearing shoes. And she says that she hasn't really put shoes on her until now. But now that she's starting to walk, she obviously needs them. So if anyone has any recommendations for shoes for a baby that doesn't really want to wear shoes but needs to because she's starting to walk.
And I will say I did respond to that. Every mom experience is different, so every answer is different. I don't have any shoes. That's why we're reaching out to you guys, because if you guys know of any shoes, that is great. We'd love to pass that information out. For me, my baby was the same. He hated shoes. And so I just got him used to learning to walk barefooted around the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would buy him different shoes, like sandals, didn't like tennis shoes, didn't like, boots, to see if maybe that helped with like ankle strength, like more stability. Didn't like them. He hated all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so finally, when his cousin turned, it was his cousin's birthday. I can't even tell you the ages at any point. But anyways, it was, they were having a party at the farm. And of course, the floor, it's all dirt and splinter. Stickers and just rocks, and it's hard. So I'm like, well, you're going to have to wear shoes. And so we just stopped at Walmart, got him any little like sneakers with little hard bottoms because we didn't want stickers to go through.
Yeah.
And he cried and screamed because he didn't want them on when we were there. He wanted to walk barefooted. But as soon as the kids were around him, he forgot what they were like, and he just started walking. And so, my best advice for like, what are the best walking shoes? A distraction. Because they don't even notice what type of shoes they have on. Like, he was just so amped to play with cousins and to be in a different scene that he didn't even notice. Now, he did walk a little funky until he got used to them, but he wasn't pulling on them anymore. He was just trying to, get through, try to follow them. And so that was my takeaway. But I know there's special shoes out there that are better and comfortable. I was going to say that.
Yeah, I've seen people that I follow. I like mom bloggers, so I've always followed them even before Maddie. And I know that there's specific ones that they recommend too. So comment below, comment on our video, and let us know if you guys have any recommendations on those so we can help each other out.
Yep.
Yay. And I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. We will catch you guys
We're just
next
about
Monday.
at 45 minutes. We keep going longer and longer. We're getting better.
And we are going to be better and funnier. I'm tired today, guys, but I'm going to come full of energy next Monday.
Well, thanks, guys, for tuning in. See you next time.
Living in the moment, it's the mom life.